the analogy of what's happening and what has happened was given to us by the Avatar movie, where the American military arrive on this moon, this Pandora moon, and they want to infiltrate the society of these Na'vi, these blue people, as they were portrayed in the Avatar movie. But they know that if they start to try to, and these American military coming to the Na'vi society, see reptilians coming to human society, they knew that they couldn't infiltrate Na'vi society because it would be obvious what they were doing because they look so bloody different. So what they did is they took an outer shell, the avatar of the Na'vi body form, and they infiltrated their society while the Na'vi thought they were just one of them. That is precisely what has happened in the infiltration of human society by this reptilian force. And they end up in the positions of power and the positions of hire and fire. And how it's happened is they have been expanding their reach over, in our version of time, thousands of years, out of places like Babylon and Sumer and Egypt and up into the Roman Empire and then up into the British Empire. And at that point, when the British Empire was at its height and all the other European empires were colonizing the world, this was the point when this reptilian human cult went global. They took over the world through colonial imposition. And then when it appeared that the colonies were given their freedom, that's not what happened. They were swapping over control, which has a finite life because the population at least knows controlling them, and at some point they'll rebel, for covert control. They left out in those countries the bloodlines, the networks, the secret society networks, and they've gone on controlling those countries ever since. And they went global. They went global in their control with the colonization. And then through the additional follow-up decades of globalization, they have centralized power, decision-making on a global level in every area of our lives. And now they were in a position to play their endgame. But they're still stuck with a big problem. And that is that the target population is numbered in billions, and they are numbered in, by comparison, in tiny numbers. So the only way that you can, as that few, control the many is controlling the perceptions of the many, thus the behavior of the many. And what this has done is show them who still has a mind of their own and who still won't be intimidated into submission, and those that will. And that's why they're targeting us in that group on the scale that they are, and trying to break our spirit. Will become so marginalized and broken of spirit that there's nothing that we will do to bring this to an end. But there is, and we are. We come into this simulation to make a difference. And you pass through, you could call it a place of forgetfulness, an energy field of forgetfulness. And the idea is to remember, once you get in this simulation, where you come from and what there is beyond it. I mean, let's just put this in matrix terms. You are in that other earth, because what the Gnostics described, I think they were spot on. I mean, I've come across the same thing, is that this simulation is a copy, a digital copy on one level of the prime reality, because this earth exists in prime reality, and it's on that higher frequency, that higher vibration, that much more ethereal vibration, and it's heart-centered, and it's a beautiful, wonderful, wonderful place, like creation in general overwhelmingly is. And so what they did was basically take a copy of that, and it's like taking a copy of a website. You take a copy of the website, and now you've got a copy. The original website's still there. You've only taken a copy of it. And that goes on being what it was before, like this other earth is still an amazing, wonderful, full of love place. But once you've got your copy, although the original copy is a copy of that, you can now change the copy, and you can do what you like to it. And what's been happening since this simulation was created is that it's been changed and changed and changed and changed to go further and further away from what I'll call it prime earth is, prime reality. And so you come in, and again, let's do the matrix thing. That probe goes into the back of the head. You come in perceptually. You don't come in physically, you come in perceptually. And as you come in, the memories of prime earth can disappear. With some, they you can still remember it, but they basically disappear. But much as they've tried, there is still a connection to out there, and it comes through here. And if this closes and you get pulled into only belly emotion and head thought perception, then you can become completely immersed in the matrix and see no other reality. Like the five senses, just see the matrix. But if you can open this, you open your heart, you retain that connection to out there. And the more you open it, and the more you, that connection becomes more and more powerful, the more you break through the veil of forgetfulness, and you start to remember. You start to remember who you really are, where you really come from, and where you really are in terms of the simulation. Just after the turn of the millennium, I just got so strong from somewhere. We're in a simulation, and the limits of it are the speed of light. And then 20 odd years later, scientists more and more in the mainstream are saying, well, actually, it does look like we're in a simulation. The head thinks, and it tries to work it out because it doesn't know. But the heart that's connected to beyond the simulation does know. And that's why intuitive knowing comes as a package. It doesn't come as a sequence of thought that reaches a conclusion. The conclusion comes fully in full. It's like, I just know. Oh, I'm thinking, I just know. That's the difference. And, you can remember, you can feel where we come from and the scale of love that's there where we come from. And we came into this simulation to try to break the stranglehold that this reptilian force, this ultimately go out of that into Icke, this distorted consciousness has on humanity. And once you start to feel these things and understand these things, well, it happens on many levels. There's that level. I just know what this could be. I can know what's out there, and how this is not how creation is meant to be. This is just a very, very dark place. The Gnostics describe the same thing. But there's other levels too, which drive you on. When you can see where this sequence is taking people to get even more and more extreme in this simulation as they change the website, if you like, more and more and more and more from what it originally was, then you can't walk down the street and look kids in the eye. You can't look your own kids in the eye, your own grandkids in the eye. You have to do everything you can to make a difference.
Help by spreading this message. Share with your friends, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Turn on notifications to stay updated.